Yo, what's up? Advent of Code 2025 just started today, December 1st. Um, yeah, I think I'm gonna give it a go this year. I'm gonna do it in C because I'm a masochist and I'm bad at it, and I want to be better at it. I'm also bad at talking while I code too, but I'm really good at writing bugs. So, um, yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's get right into it, I suppose. I'm already logged in, so I can go ahead and read this. Day one, secret entrance. The elves have good news and bad news. The good news is that they've discovered project management. This has given them the tools they need to prevent their usual Christmas emergency. For example, they now know that the North Pole decoration needs to be finished and the critical task start on time. The bad news is that they realized that they have a different emergency. According to their resource planning, none of them have any time left to decorate the North Pole. To save Christmas, the elves need you to finish decorating the North Pole by December 12th. Like stars with solving puzzles. 2 puzzles will be made available each day. The second puzzle is unlocked when you complete the first. Each puzzle grants 1 star. Good luck. You arrive at the secret entrance to the North Pole base, ready to start decorating. Unfortunately, the password seems to have been changed, so you can't get in. A document taped to the wall helpfully explains. Due to the new security protocols, the password is locked in the safe below. Please see the attached document for the new combination. The safe has a dial with only an arrow on it. Around the dial are numbers 0 through 99 in order. As you turn the dial, it makes a small click noise as it reaches each number. The attached document, your puzzle input, contains a sequence of rotations, 1 per line, which tell you how to open the safe. The rotation starts with an L or an R and indicates whether the direction should be to the left, towards lower numbers, or to the right, towards higher numbers. Then the rotation has a distance value, which indicates how many clicks the dial should be rotated in that direction. So if the dial were pointing at 11, rotation of R8 cause the dial to point to 19. After that, a rotation of left 19 would cause it to point at 0. Because the dial is a circle, turning the dial left from 0 1 click makes it point at 99. Similarly, turning the dial right from 99 1 click makes it point at 0. So, if the dial were pointing at 5, a rotation of left 10 would cause it to point at 95. After that, a rotation of right 5 cause it to point at 0. The dial starts by pointing at 50. You could follow the instructions, but your recent required official North Pole secret entrance security training seminar taught you that the safe is actually a decoy. The actual password is the number of times the dial is left pointing at 0 after any rotation in the sequence. For example, supposed at this, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do this either. You kind of get the idea. If you do a rotation and it ends at 0 after the rotation, then that is +1 to the total of times that it's been to 0, really. And so the password is 3 because of this line, and this line. Cool. Analyze the rotation in your attached document. What's the actual password to open the door? Get your puzzle input. All right, time for me to be a noob in C, in Neovim, and everything. So I've created this directory. We're going to make day 1 cd into that, and then just get Neovim going, I guess. We'll do problem.txt. That's a description of the problem. We actually don't need that, to be honest. I'm not going to do that, but I will do the input. Let's open a new terminal pane. I don't think I did that right. No, I didn't do that right. I thought it was term. Oh, it was, okay. I think I have to, I think I could just do this. No, I can't do that. I'm not signed in. What am I trying to do here, dude? I don't need to do this garbage. Why can't I just be a normal person and download the file and put it where it needs to go? Or I'll just copy paste it. That's a lot of lines. All right. So input.txt, add that. Okay. That's 4,100 inputs. It's pretty cool. All right. We'll add a make file and we'll do a little gcco main and main.c. Warning all extra air banding. Sure. I do have Copilot installed. I didn't plan on using it. I honestly forgot it was installed. But I'm not gonna uninstall it, so you know, we're just gonna roll with it. So main.c, do the classic. Sure. I gotta stop using Copilot to be honest with you, because it's just gonna give me the answer. I can't even type hello world without it giving me hints. Cool. Now, since I'm in this directory, if I do make, it'll do that. So that just compiles it, actually. I want it to run as well, so do that. Cool. So now if I do make, boom, we got hello world printed. All right. That is the extent of my C knowledge, to be completely honest with you. It's going to be a lot of Googling, I think. So, dude, I may have to disable Copilot. I think I'm actually going to do it. Copilot disable. Gotta get that turned off because I like to write comments for what I need to do, and every time I write a comment, it's just gonna give me the answer. But you know, if you're trying to get results, that's fine. But if you're actually trying to get better, it's not gonna help very much. I should just look these things up anyways. Cool. So pretty much what we need to do is open the file, parse the file line by line, or actually what you would do is iterate over all lines in the file, processing each line, and then print the answer. Pretty much it. 3 easy steps. All right, opening files. How do we do that? I have an LSP server in here. I don't really. Let's see. I think what I have to do is I have to do a file pointer equals f open. Sure. Now what does f open take is the question. File name and then modes. Okay, I think I've seen this before. So what we want to open is input.txt, and we want it to read in binary, maybe? What can we do with that? So what can we do with this? Printf. The file pointer. Restrict. F put C. No, we don't want to do that. I don't really know what this file. What the hell is this? Yeah, it doesn't help. What can we do with this? How do we use this now? Can we do like a shit, I don't even know. Let's just print it all out. That would probably help. Int I equals, I don't even know. All right, we're hitting the Google already. C file pointers. What can we do with them? C file pointer. Give me like C reference or something like that. What do we got? File type, and it's essential for file handling functions such as fopen, which we've done. F read. That seems important. Give me man F read. Manfred. All right, that's not working very well. We're gonna go here. C. Read. What do we got? Reads up to count objects into the array buffer from the given input stream as if by calling fgetC size times for each. Get C reads. Put it in a buffer. Put the size in the buffer. Or no, that's the size of each thing that you're reading, the count of how many things you're reading, and then that's the file pointer. That's like what you're reading from, I guess. So interesting. Is there like a read line thing that we can use? No? You know what? It doesn't matter. We do know that the hold on. Let me read more of this. Times for each object, storing the results in the order obtained in the successive positions of buffer, which is interpreted as an array of unsigned characters, which is just bytes, right? The file position indicator for the stream is advanced by the number of characters read. If an error occurs, the resulting value of the file is indeterminate. Okay. Size of each object in bytes. Number of objects to read. See an example. Doubles, file, open, test binary, write binary. No, we want read binary. Got a size, constant size t, return code. Put it in the buffer of size. Size is 5, size of the first element of buffer, which is a double. Size, read 5 of them, and file pointer is where you're getting that data from. Array successfully read. Contents. Bang. fgetS. Wait a second. Reads at most count -1 characters from the given file stream character array. What? Parsing stops if a new line character is found. In which case, will contain that new line character or end of file occurs. Pointer to an element of a character array. Aww. Rewind. Size. Interesting. What does our input file look like? Is there any way that we can get... Can it be like over 100? I'm sure it can. Yeah, like 577 right here. It's gonna mess you up. Or like a 725. That's gonna mess you up, dude. If you're just reading like 3 bytes every line, not gonna work. All right, well. Can I at least print out everything in this file? How about that? Let's just start with that. Get fgetS, read. What do I want to read? Can you get the size of the file pointer? Show me this. C stream. C standard does not specify where the file's lead object type. Okay. narrow, wide, binary, and text modes. Text streams, an ordered sequence of characters that can be composed into lines. A line can be decomposed into 0 or more characters, forming a new line. Whether that last line requires a terminating is implementation. Furthermore, characters may. Huh. I like that text stream thing. It's like what I want. Binary streams and order streams characters transparently recorded. So maybe I don't want to do binary. I don't need to read it in binary, I don't think. Oh, I don't think that's what I want. Show me open. Show me what you do. Opens a file indicated by file name, returns a pointer to the file stream associated with that file. Mode is used access mode. Okay. Mode is whatever. Mode. Null terminated character, string determining file access mode. Read. Opening file for reading. Start from start, failure open. Okay. Read extended. Read write, read from start, error, destroy. Write plus. Action if file already exists. Destroy contents. Rip. End. File access mode B. Can option be specified. Flag has no effect. But on Windows, it disables special handling. New line and okay. I think we just gotta read it, honestly. How do people use this? Note int not character required to handle end of file. C equals navigate C file pointer. I need to put character C. Put character where? What does this do? Oh. That makes sense. Alright. Let's try this. Just gonna read everything. But I would love to read until a new line, though. There's gotta be a way to do that. Isn't that read S? Wait, hold on. That might be read S. Or whatever. This? Oh, no, that's puts. Blessed. Read. Dude. Yeah, this is what we want, I think. Reads up to count objects into the array buffer. F, let's see, size times for each object. Dude. We gotta figure this out. This is not obvious. I could just look up examples, but I want to read the documentation. No, actually, there's no point. There's no point in reading this whole thing. You may as well just do how to read data from a text file in C. That's X. Read a contents file. What does this have to tell us? I'm not going to disable my ad blocker, thank you. Opening the file, fopen, okay. Mode, reading the data. Different methods. Closing the file, F close. Required to free the memory, sure. Okay, get string, get character, get string, scan F, F scan F, and F re, okay, okay. C, single character, don't want single characters. We don't want that, but instead of a single character, reads one string up to a given number of characters at a time, stores it in limit. Okay. Don't want that. Do for text files where lines need to be processed individually. Well, that's interesting. One string. Bro. Stops reading when it reaches a new line. True. That's exactly what I needed. That is exactly what I needed all along. So it's what was it F get? Yeah. File. Okay. So let's just do a buffer of 10. Sure, it's probably enough. And then for or while buff equals F gets what does this take? What does this take? The buffer, what the number of things to get and where to read it from. Okay, so let's do buff 10 and FP. Oh, it does not equal. Is it null? I think it's null, right? Just write it. Just write it. What's the problem? Not modifiable, huh? What if I do this? It's this. Bang. There it is, bro. That's huge. I actually don't need the new line because it includes the new line, I think. I mean, I can read a file and see. That's so sick. That only took, how long did that take? Quite a long time. But we're learning here. Okay, so that opens the file, that prints out each line. So really, you just want to process it line by line. You want to separate. Okay, so for each line, you know that the first character, right? This is a little hacky. This feels hacky, but it's not that hacky because it's fine. I don't care. Int sum equals 0. So you also have to do. This is gonna be gross. Int start equals 50. Actually, dial value. So it starts at 50, and then while you're not at the end of the thing, you basically want to get whether you're going left or right. Get whether you're going to turn the dial left or right. Oh my. That would be at the first thing of buffer. So basically you could say if buff at 0 equals left, then you go left. What's this warning? String compare. Oh, it doesn't matter. I don't care. You can warn me about that. I don't know what else I'm supposed to do. Yeah, we'll figure it out. For now, let's just print left for now. Errors. Where are the errors? Oh, all warnings being treated as errors. Word. Okay, this this will make me a little bit better, right? Let's see what we got here. Error comparison starting with string literal results in unspecified behavior. Interesting. How are we supposed to compare them then? Dial's never used. Sum is never used. Sum equals 0. Dial value equals 0. Sure, we'll just do those because those are used now. What do you mean? Set but not used. Okay, you know what? How about we just do this? Holy hell. There we go. And then this. How do you compare? Holy shit. That's what I wanted. Okay, so you have to use these ticks, not a string. Okay, okay. And let's get some new lines in here. That works. That works. Okay, so left, right, oops. Okay, so get rid of these. It's gonna kill me, man. It's all right. It'll get better as time goes on. Literally the first time pretty much working with like files and everything in C. I've literally never done this before. I only know like basic syntax and that's pretty much it. I don't really know the API. I don't really know anything else. But we'll get there. Isn't there a string? Isn't it like is it isn't it A to I? What does this do? Convert a string to an integer. Huge. Absolutely ginormous. That I somehow knew that. Basically you want to do int. I don't even know. What would you do here? So you have the sum and then the dial value. Or this should really be called like to return or something. And this process the left. So essentially for each one I wanted like this is left. So get the number of clicks to do, and then basically you do those clicks. And then at the end, if value here is 0, 10 to the sum. That's pretty much it. That's what you want to do, and you want to do the same thing for this as well. Which means it can you kind of don't need to have this stuff duplicated, but that doesn't matter. So this can actually be simplified. You could do like, how about you do something like card direction equals that. Sure, it's like a space or whatever. And what you could do is You could compare, yeah, it doesn't matter. Get the direction. So you could say direction equals, just kidding, direction buff at 0, because each line is going to start with that. And then you could do whatever. We got the direction, doesn't matter. Then you could do like get the clicks. You have to do. Okay. So we know that buffer starting at 1 to the end is an integer, right? So what would happen if we did a little something like what if we did like son of a bitch, bro. Print the string with a new line. But actually what you want to do is this to be an integer, and you want to do a to I. And you want to convert a string to an integer. So what is this in, by the way? Standard lib. We need that in here. Nice. Okay, oops. So the string in here is buff. Is it just buff? What if you did that? What does that do? Is this gonna scream at me? Probably is, right? Yeah. Hold on. Uh, okay, so it just gives you 0 because it probably reads that first letter and it freaks out. But if you think about it, right? If you think about it, the way I think that this works is if you just so char what what am I even saying? Buff. You know, what if I just passed in the location of the first element? How about that? Okay, that yells at me. Why? I wish there was like a range, dude. A range would be sick. You could shift everything over once you have the direction. What if I did, can I like point to that? Oh, damn. No, that doesn't like it. Incompatible integer to pointer conversion for passing character. What? Incompatible integer to pointer conversion. Yeah, because you're basically, yeah. I think this is saying you're passing in a pointer to the first object, which is what I want to do, man. It's what I want to do. So yeah, it's a real problem. It's a real shame. Um, that doesn't do anything, right? Yeah, what am I doing? What am I doing here? Does this take? Good lord, what am I doing? What am I doing? I have complete control of this. Basically, what I need to do is say that the uh, a pointer basically to the number start equals buff at 1, right? What do you mean? What's the problem? Show me the problem. What's the problem here? Initialization from character makes pointer from integer without cast. I'll cast it then. Pointer from integer. Oh, is it that? I think it was that. It was that. Uh, num start. Holy dude. Let's go. That's massive. That's absolutely massive. Absolutely massive. Bang. Bang. There's a lot of repeats here. 37 3 times in a row. How about we do a little cat of input? Okay, there are the 37s in a row. So it's actually working. It's actually working. Okay. Well, nice. So really you could say int num clicks equals a to I start. That's the number of clicks you have to do. And so basically this is saying what we could do here is we could maybe call like a helper function because we're going to have to do the same thing. So call a function called like do click, take in the, what do you even want to do? Return a, should you just return, yeah, you should just return a new value. So this should be basically dial value is going to equal do click. And what you're going to do is you're going to pass in dial value, current dial value, the number of clicks, and the direction. Yeah, and you're going to do this for left and right. And I'm going to get rid of diagnostic messages because that's getting a little gross. We're going to make those do that, and then we're going to make int do click. It takes in an integer dial value. It takes in an integer num clicks, and then it takes in direction, character direction. So actually, you just have to do that, I think. Yep. Do the clicks. And then check the dial value. And increment if necessary. Okay, do click. It's very easy in theory. What you want to do is basically you have the dial value be copied. Well, Yeah, it's fine. I don't care. There's a lot of copying. I'm just getting ahead of myself because like you don't really need to copy, these integer values like on the stack or whatever. I read some garbage. I don't even know why I'm worried about this. I haven't even solved the problem yet. I'm not even like trying to minimize memory footprint or anything. I'm just being an idiot. Uh, to return. So basically, you do for people like to do size t because it's unsigned. I think I'll get in the habit of doing that. I equals 0. I is less than num clicks, and I plus plus. Also, people like to do plus plus I. Don't really know what that does. I don't think it's really that big of a deal, so I'm gonna do I plus plus. Okay, so I mean, you have to have the direction, so um, whatever. Let's do a simple implementation of this. So um, if direction equals L, then you'll handle that, and then if it's not, then it's got to be something else. Basically, to return minus equals 1, right? And then this is to return plus equals 1, but really it's not that simple. Well, it's really, okay, if you're going left, first you want to check if you're at a boundary. Are you at a boundary, which is 0 or 99? If to return equals 0, then to return equals 99. Continue. It's a good thing compiler told me about that. Um, Also, if to return equals, no, that's it, actually. That's the only thing you have to do for this. This is kind of like an else, that's fine. So do the, you got a boundary here, so you do if to return equals 99, then to return equals 0. Otherwise, you do to return plus equals 1, and then pretty much you're done. Return to return. Although this has to be a continue. Right, that's pretty simple, you would think. So yeah, the new dial value is doing a bunch of clicks. It should really be called do clicks. Um, uh, let's do a little do a little a global substitute. Damn, thought I was onto something there. Hold on, this has to be easy. Yeah, there we go. Renamed it. Boom. So it's do clicks now. because you're doing a bunch of clicks. Check it here. So if dial value equals 0, then to return plus equals 1. At the end, what the hell is going on here? Basically, at the end, you want to do printf answer is %d new line, and you want to print to return. It was good to me. Close the file, whatever, and let's see. And nice. So what do we got? Comparison of integer expressions of different signedness. Size t, aka long unsigned integer and integer. Error, sign compare. Okay. I see. What if we did a little casting? Will you yell at me then? No, you won't. The answer is 1021. Let's fire that into the old answer box. Let's go, dude. That's sick. That's the right answer. Your 1 gold star goes to decorating the North Pole. Sick. Part 2. What's part 2? You're sure that's the right password, but the door won't open. You knock, nobody answers. You build a snowman. What you think? As you're rolling the snowballs for your snowman, you find another security document that must have fallen in the snow. Dude, newer security protocols, please. Use password method gobbledygook until further notice. You remember from the training seminar that gobbledygook means you're actually supposed to count the number of times any click causes the dial to point at 0, regardless of whether it happens during a rotation or at the end of one. Following the same rotations as the above example, the dial points 0 a few extra times. Well, be careful if the dial were pointing at 50, a single rotation, like, cause the dial to point at 0 10 times. Dude, it's a good thing I actually pretty much did this. This is how I chose to solve it, so this is dope. Really, what you can do here is, we are not... Dude, it's all coming together. Holy, it's all coming together. This is now void, right? This is actually a pointer to an integer, right? And we're going to dereference that there, and we're also going to dereference that there. Okay, that's not what I wanted to do, actually. Because this has to be dial value, actually. That's why. So dial value is a pointer. So we're going to dereference some pointers. We're going to say dial value equals 99. Basically, I can change everything here. I think here, I could do %s anytime that you see to return. I want you to actually do a pointer to dial value everywhere. Trailing shit. Okay, that didn't work. Whatever. Why didn't that work? Whatever. I don't care. Let's do it this. Oh yeah, this is exactly what I wanted. Yes, 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 yes. Quit. Perfect. You don't need to return anything because it's void. So basically all the counting is going to be in here. I guess. It's actually not what I wanted to do. I don't think. It's fine, we're gonna do it anyway, it doesn't matter. Just coding this with side effects. So yeah, just do the clicks. How about it? Just do the clicks. And you're gonna take a pointer to dial value, actually. Just kidding. Address of dial value, because that's how you get a pointer out of a variable. So actually, you also need to pass in starting dial value. You also want to pass in to the address of to return. That's really what you're interested in. Dial value. Whatever. Whatever. The answer is going to be the dereferencing of to return. That is going to be that. Why are you yelling at me? Indirection requires pointer operand. I can't read that. There we go. Doesn't matter. Okay. I've bounced around too much. Let's go here. So this is going to take in a int pointer. What would this be? Sum. Sure. And so basically what you're gonna do is if the dial value is 0, does this work? Hold on. If the dial value is 0, you have to count it. So I'm going to count it here because you're detecting on that it's whatever. If that makes sense. Like in this if statement, you're actually doing the check that you care about. So I'll just do the logic here. So this would be the dereferenced value of sum is plus equals 1. There you go. And then here is the same thing. Nice. Now what is this saying? Valid type argument of unary. Unary. Sorry, I don't even know how to pronounce that. Have int. Valid type argument of what? Have int. Oh, I'm saying okay, because I'm saying I want an integer, and you're getting pissed. And I'm asking for. Yeah, it's because I don't need that there. That's because I don't need that there. The answer is actually 5956. Surely this doesn't have any bugs, right? 5956. That's not the right answer. Your answer is too high. Okay, fair. Let's go back and see why it's too high. This is fine. It's gonna be in here. So we're saying this is doing the clicks. This is fine. Directions, that's fine. Okay, so if the dial is 0 right now, it's too high. Okay, interesting. So am I double counting somewhere? So if the sum is at a boundary, why could this be double counting maybe? Like equals 0. Can you? Huh. It's too high, it says. Too high, it says. Well, let's just step through an example, I guess. So we could say that wait a second. No. That's not right. I was gonna say because it says right here, um, regardless of whether it happens during a rotation or at the end of one, it doesn't matter. So you have to check every time that you do a click to see if it's 0, right? That's what it's saying. So this is one click right here. And so what you're saying is all right, you're going left. Are you at 0 right now? If so, add 1 to the sum because you didn't do it last time. Really, you want to check at the end, honestly. But that's like a double check. I don't know if I want to do that, you know? I don't know if I want to do that. Well, what? See if it gives the right answer. So say you're not at 0. Well, we know this works. So if dial value equals 0, then sum plus equals 1. That's fine. We'll do the same here. The value 99? No. So you can go here and you could say, you actually just take this right here. Paste that in there. So what was the answer before? It was like 51 something? 2958. That is significantly less. It's significantly less. It's actually like almost half, right? Let's see if that's right. Maybe we were double counting in the beginning. Maybe we were double counting. It's too high. Not the right answer. It's too low. Excuse me. Too low, huh? That sucks. Why is it too low? The direction is up. That's fine. Are you at a boundary? For each click that you have to do, say you have to do like, you're at like 10 and you have to do 50 clicks left. So you'll be at 1. So you'll basically be at 1, right? This will be nothing. You'll do that and then you'll be like, oh, this clicked 0 right now after you did that. So you can increment sum here because you went to 0 and then you do it again because you have 40 more to go and so you're at 0 and so you're saying, okay, are we at 0? Yes. Okay, well the value is actually 99. Which is fine, and then you'll continue and it doesn't matter because you'll skip this line, you'll skip all this, and the same thing here too. I think it's actually different. Hold on. It's too low. So you want to do it when you hit 0 on the iteration that you're hitting 0. So this is okay. So this is the iteration that we're hitting 0. So what, it was like 5,000, then we just had, I don't remember what we submitted this time. Let's see if this makes a difference. That's the same one we got, right? 5933. That's the same one we got before. I thought. Is that the same one we got? That sounds too high, man. So let's say you're going right, you're at 99. Has it hit 0 yet? Go to 0. Increment the sum because you're at 0, and then continue. Interesting. Said this was too high last time, I think. That's the right answer. Never mind. That was not the one that I did. That's right. You got 1 gold star closer to decorating the North Pole. You've completed day 1. You can share this victory or return to the Advent calendar. All right. Well, that's it then. This wasn't great. This wasn't great. Um, I mean, it was great because it's done. But I mean, I fumbled through this. There's a lot of like intricacies to see that you don't really think about. That like characters are just integers basically. Um, the beginning was a mess. Trying to do the file opening and everything like that. This is like the only line that I knew. Well, I also knew A to I, which was really useful, and that you can just get the start of the number that you care about from by like discarding the first character pretty much of each line because that's either going to be left or right. So this buffer of 10 is like kind of sketchy because if you have something that's rotating at like 50,000, no, like 6 billion times, like it's not going to fit in the buffer, and like a buffer overflow maybe. I don't even know if that's how that works, but yeah, it's not a very reliable program. Or no, what would you say? It's not a very bulletproof program, but it did work. This read and binary seem to have done nothing, I don't think. So I don't need the B. I don't think. I don't think I need the B. Yeah, I guess that was it. So walking through it, we open the file, set up a bunch of nonsense. This will be like set up all the variables needed for tracking everything. These are probably too big. Like if you're trying to shave down on program size or whatever, like these can probably be like smaller, like shorts. Are shorts a thing? They are a thing. These could probably be shorts, save some bits and bytes or whatever. Character just gets set to a dummy value pretty much. You're reading in a string into the buffer, size 10, from file pointer. As long as that's not null, you basically have a line. The direction is the first thing you read from the line. The actual... This isn't great. Like, this name isn't great. Num start, what does that mean? It'd be like the, click num pointer or like something like that. But it doesn't really matter. So basically, this is the pointer to the start of the section in the buffer that holds the string, that holds the number of times that you need to do clicks. This is the actual number of clicks. You just do that. Converts an integer or a string to an integer. Very useful. If I didn't have this, it would have sucked. That's what APIs and standard libraries are for, right? Do clicks, takes in all of those, the dial value that you're currently operating on. You're running some, the number of clicks that you want to do in this iteration, and then the direction. And then at the end, you print the answer and close the file pointer, and then this is this, you're just iterating over starting at 0 and just the number of clicks that you're doing. Basically, are like, are you going left or right? And then depending on which way you're going, you're, you know, incrementing, checking values, incrementing values, not returning anything because you're operating on actual pointers. So, yeah, that's that. Don't really have too much to say. Felt pretty stupid. Uh, Reading all the documentation in the beginning. I think I was trying too hard. I don't know. Sometimes you just get like all this stuff has been done before. You just gotta like Google it and see what they do, and then like you'll kind of understand why things work the way that they do just by like reading examples that people do. It's not that big of a deal. I don't need to read manual pages to figure out how to do like chain standard C library calls. So whatever. But yeah, it's day one in the bag. Um, Day two starts in like 3 hours. So yeah, that's pretty much it.